I got my coffee and I drove around the parking lot and found a good shade tree. I've actually never sat under this shade tree before, but a lot of the other ones were taken, and it's a weird time of the day and there's not a lot of shade. So, I have a pretty much carefree day when that's the most difficult thing that I had to do today is find a shade tree that I could sit under and drink coffee. So I just dropped the boys off at the church. They have a little bit of a field trip today. They're going to a place called the Pretty Place, where I've been in the parking lot, but I've never been there. My wife has never been there. I don't know why. It's not too far away. And it's pretty popular. I think it's popular with like weddings and things like that. I know there's a big cross out there, but it's supposed to have some beautiful views. So anyway, they're going out there today. It's like a youth thing. So like, I wasn't invited, but nor any other adults except for, I guess, the youth pastor. I guess he's going. I don't know if anybody else is going or not, but anyway, I'm happy just sitting here with my coffee. So this is actually not a bad place to sit. Now, if somebody were texting and driving and kind of lost control of the car, I could see where this might become a little bit dicey place to be sitting, especially if they lost control right there. Can you see me where I'm pointing? That way. I use this, and it's like you don't even know what I'm doing. It's like I'm cleaning off my window or something, but I was doing that. Anyway. Oh, baby, good coffee. Hot coffee. So anyway, I'm going to sit here and see what transpires. I don't really know what I'm going to do today. Like I say, it's really a carefree day for me. I could start a book. I just got a used book about a week ago at the public library. They had a lot of books out for sale for $1. And I got a hardback copy of Robert Inman, Dairy Queen Days. And I can literally open it up and read the first, that much of a book. I'd say paragraph, but in this case, the first paragraph's only one sentence. But usually I can read about that much of a book, and I can tell if I'm going to like the book because of the style, the tone, and all that. And I read that, and it's like, I like this book. And then, of course, I thumb through and just look real quick and to make sure there's nothing too colorful in the book. I don't like books that go down that route. And incidentally, it's an autographed copy. And I'm pretty sure it's a first edition also. Yeah, first edition. So a first edition signed copy of Robert Inman's Dairy Queen Days. So at some point I'll read that. And then there's another novel that I need to read. One by me that I have to continue revising. So I also could do that today. I have my spiral notebook to jot down ideas because I'm always getting ideas for various things, projects, short stories, because I write a lot of short stories. I don't know. Yeah, I've mentioned it. I've got actually a couple books that I released at the first of the year. Short stories and an independent movie that I made years ago. I wrote about the experiences of that. but I released those like right at the first of the year. They're on Amazon. And let's see. Oh yeah, I've got about 10 to 12 new short stories that I've written. I know I'm kind of out of frame here. I don't know what's going on with my phone. Something about when we took the van in, and since we got it back, I can't figure out how to do this. Kind of frustrating. No matter what I do, it cuts me off at the top. So it's very well. May as well just show you where I'm at too. See, that's what I was saying. If somebody was texting, they jump the curb and come running down this grass right here and hit me. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's a pretty nice view. I bet that was washed out. I'm not even gonna look, but I bet that was washed out. I wouldn't doubt it. If it was, I'm sorry. You might not have been able to see anything. But suffice it to say, I tried. And I think that should count for something. All right. That's a little bit better, right? It's not cutting off the top of my hat, like, right here. So, anyway. And I got my big bottle of water so I don't dehydrate today. And quite honestly, what I might start out with is just to watch a YouTube video, because that's the lazy man's way out. Because then I don't have to do anything except choose a video. Well, that kind of gets me acclimated to the day also. It works it in. I hear a helicopter. I hope it's not like the police department looking for me or something. Maybe I forgot to use a blinker. I don't know. I don't see them. Guess they already passed over. But anyway. And where I'm sitting, I can actually see. Well, I mean, I've already missed them. I'm sure they're gone. But this is the road that the church van would come out of that I'm looking at. And they would be going the other way. But I got gas. I had to go get gas because the orange line, the last line of the yellow will say here. Well, the needle was like down here, way down here. I'm like, how is it even still running at this point? And where did my gas go? I mean, I don't remember it being that far under the yellow line. And I was holding my breath because I went out at one light and decided to go around a long way to go to another light, because this light is notoriously long, and I thought maybe I'd run out of gas sitting at this light. So I said, well, I go around to the other light because it's always like no one is there, and I can go to this light, which is always red when you get to it, and I can turn right on red and go to the gas station. So I don't have to stop. Lo and behold, I went all the way around, and there was a line of cars in front of me, and they were all turning left. So I had to sit there and wait. I was on a hill going down, so I was up here facing down, and there's a parking lot over here to my left, and I stayed about 30 feet behind the car in front of me, which I know looks stupid, like I was being very precautious, like, giving myself a lot of room. But what I was doing is if I ran out of gas, I was planning on just coasting into the parking lot and parking. And then I could wave at my boys as they go by, because it would have been this light right here. And they would think that I'm just there to say goodbye and that I'm weird or whatever. But in actuality, I would have been out of gas. And then at that point, I'd have had to figure out how I was going to get gas. But fortunately, the light turned green quicker than I anticipated. And I sighed a big sigh of relief and went to the gas station and got gas, which is also where I got coffee. And I told the guy there, we're always very friendly. I go there all the time. That I wasn't sure because I got gas first. And I said, I'm not sure. I may be back in to get coffee and I may not. I'm just indecisive what I want to do today. Because part of me wanted to go, say, to a coffee shop inside and sit. But then there was that part of me that doesn't really want to talk today to people. I don't really want to. I don't mind talking oh yeah, I do. I don't want to talk today. What I was going to say is if someone I knew, I don't mind talking about meaningful things as opposed to people who don't really know you and they're like, hey, how are you, man? Hey, man, the weather's really good today, right? What are you going to do? Sunshine. And I don't like small talk. That's my personality. I'm not a small talk person. Which is probably all I do on this channel, right? Small talk. But no, seriously, I don't like small talk. I like, if there's something to be said, I like to say it. But then I started thinking but no, I don't actually want to see anybody I know either because I don't feel like any meaningful talks either. It's one of those days I just want to be left alone, basically. I want to sit in my car, have coffee, be by myself, reflect, think, maybe get some things done and stuff like that. And then he was like, well, sorry, but, I guess you're having to talk to me. And I'm like, oh, no, that's okay, dude. You're always very, very friendly, and I don't mind talking to you ever. And I mean that. He's a nice guy. And that's different. It's like business talk. He always asks about the family. And anyway, don't you get that way sometimes too, where you just really don't feel like talking to people? You'd rather just be left alone. A lot of people like small talk. Enough people engage in it. Apparently they either like it or that's the only thing they really, I don't know, maybe it's the polite thing to do. I don't know, it probably is. Maybe I'm just an impolite person, but I'm not. I'm always nice to people. Even when I don't want to talk to somebody, I'm nice and polite. And I find some way to get out of the situation in a very polite way. Seriously. I know it's expected in this day and time to talk about drivel. I'm just not a drivel talker. Well, I enjoy watching these cars go by, though. There's some dude backed up into the shade over there, some work truck. He's got his lights on, his headlights. It's like it's as bright as it can be out here today. I think he's scoping me out. Anyway. Let me go for a while. I'm not absolutely sure I'll be back. Well, I will at some point. Today. This could be the end of the video, and it might not be. Incidentally, I know this is out of the blue and whatever, but the intersection right there, many years, 15 years ago. Anyway, okay, I got to back up even further. Okay, my wife always tells my boys, even me, make sure when you leave the house to dress in case you have to walk. If it's freezing cold outside, don't take it for granted the heater in the car is going to continue working. Make sure you're warm in case the car breaks down. Have good walking shoes in case you have to walk. Be prepared. And she always tells them that. And me sometimes too, because I've been known to leave the house hey, you want to go riding around? Yeah, love to. And I'll leave in my pajama bottoms. And she'll be like, what if we break down? I mean, are you okay with? I'm like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. I mean, it's my pajama bottoms, because it doesn't really bother me that much. It's not like they're inappropriate or anything. They're like long and they cover everything, so it's like, so what? But anyway, the reason she's like this is because about 15 years ago, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. It was not quite like light yet. It was in that like period where the sun was coming up. Anyway, she was at that intersection. We were. And I don't remember exactly how it went. Oh, yeah, okay, this is how it went. She was taking me to work, and she dropped me off at work, and then she was right there at that intersection, and she was turning back to go home, and the car stopped completely. And what had happened is the oil pump had quit working, and the engine froze up. The car was ruined, basically. We had to get rid of it because the engine was destroyed. But anyway, she didn't have shoes on, and she had on these weird pajama bottoms. Actually, oh no, wait, it wasn't pajama bottoms. It was the kind that the one-piece pajamas that women wear sometimes, kind of like a flannel thing. But she didn't have on shoes, and it was gray, and it had like teddy bears all over it, something really weird. And she was stuck right there. And at the time, there was a Huddle House restaurant right there next door. And she had to walk over there and ask to use their phone, because this was before cell phones were just like a common thing. Like, I didn't have a cell phone. I remember having to call from a payphone from this job if I wanted to talk to her. So this was before cell phones. So it could have been 20 years ago, but it was 15 to 20 years ago. But anyway, that's the story. She had to go over there in her weird pajamas, her hair all messed up, and no shoes on. Ask to use their phone, have to deal with a tow truck and all this stuff, and she had to, I don't even know how she got home. It's so many years ago, I don't remember exactly, but it seemed like the tow truck driver took her by the house on his way to basically taking our car to our mechanic, because we didn't know what was wrong with it at the time, but it was basically destroyed. So anyway, be prepared to go out at all times, because you never know what's going to happen. So there you go. And I agree with that sentiment. And I consider pajamas being prepared. So yeah, as long as you have shoes on. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. That story was kind of like unintended. I don't even know what made me think of it. But anyway, God bless you guys. God loves you a lot. So talk to him when you need to, and when you don't need to, just talk to him. I'm going to go, like I keep saying. So take care. I'll see you soon.